Hi and welcome to my maths class. Today we're doing a revision exercise on all the grade 10 data. Now the first thing we're going to discuss is the mean, median and mode. Now the mean is the average. In order to calculate the average, we do not need the data to be in order. All we need to do is we need to add all the terms. So we add all the terms and we divide it by the number of terms. So if you calculate, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 terms. So we're going to add each value, which is 210 plus 148, and you're going to add each value and then you're going to divide it by 14. So for the mean, so we're going to add all the terms and then we are going to divide it by 14, which means that our average is equal to 122, comma, it's got comma 428, but when you round it off it will become comma 43. So our average, our mean is equal to 122, comma 43. Now you also need to learn how to use your calculator. Firstly, we'd like to set your calculator up to have a frequency table in it. You're going to press shift and you're going to press the mode. Then you're going to go down and it will have number 3, which is stats. You're going to put number 1, which is frequency, on. Then you're going to press mode again. And number 2 says stats. What we're working with is number 1, which is variance. In that we're going to put in under the X all the values we have. So you're going to press 210 equal to. Now as soon as you press equal to, you would see under frequency it has a 1. It is acceptable and you leave it. It is better that you work with the frequency table on all the time. Then you're going to press 148 and you equal to 120 equal to. So you're going to do this with all your values. As soon as you press the value, you press equal to. Now you'll see the last number you're pressing is 77, and it will show you on the total left hand side that it's the 14th number. So you know you haven't missed out any number. Then you press AC. Then you press shift and 1. Under that you'd have 1 which says type, 2 that says data, 3 that says sum, 4 that says variance, and 5 that says minimum or maximum. We are going to press 4. Now it says 1, 2, 3, 4, and it gives you a few options. The option we're looking for is the X with the line. On the FX82 ZA, it is number 2. So you press 2 equal to, and your answer will again be 122, 43. It is advisable that you learn the calculator method because later when we start doing frequency tables, you need the calculator. Okay, now let's go on to median and mode. In order to do median and mode, you need your data to be in order. Now if you look, this data is going quite high. It is starting from as low as 50, but it is going as high as 210. Now because it is not a lot of data, you could choose to simply put it in order, or you could use the stem and leave. Now if we're using the stem and leave, we're going to start with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So the 5 is representing the tens. And now we're going to see it goes into the hundreds. So it's the hundreds and the tens, and then the leaves are the units. Now we fill in what we have. 210 would be by the 21. So it is 210. Then we have 148. So by 14 it's going to be an 8. Then we have 120. Then we have 50. 100. Now remember, by the 10 and the 100 gives me a 100. Can you see that? Then we have 77. And then we have 190. And then we have 157. 118. Remember, 118, 118. 123. 142. Now you see this, the 8 is before the 2, which means we'd have to change that. 137, 65, and 77. Now if we're putting the data in order, I prefer that we write the data out horizontally. So we're going to have 50, and then we're going to have 65. 77 we have 2. Can you see? 1, 2. Then we have 100, and we have 118, 120, 123, 137, 148. Now look, 148 and 142, which one's coming first? 142 is coming first. So we got 142, 148, 157. Then we've got 190, and we've got 210. Now, if I want to calculate the median is the middle. Right, so we know that it is an even data. So what are we going to do? We know it's 14, and we're going to divide it by 2, which means it's 7. Now if it's a whole number, then I'm going to say the 7th term plus the 8th term divided by 2. Now what is the 7th term? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the 7th term is 120. The 8th term is 123. So I'm going to say 120 plus 123, and I'm going to divide it by 2, which is equal to 121,5. So what is the median? The median is 121,5. Okay, let us say I had the same data, but now I am removing one number. So let's say I take out 210. If I wanted the median for this new data, now we don't have 14 terms. Now we have 13. So when it is 13, 13 divided by 2 is 7,5, which means if I round it off, it's the 8th number. So if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the median in this case would be 123. So remember, you must be careful if it's even or odd. Now let's go to the next concept. The next concept is the mode. What is most repeated? Mode is what is most repeated. If you look, the number 77 is repeated 2 times. So the mode is 77. That is our mode. Okay, now let us go on to frequency tables. Remember, what we had done is mean, median, and mode of ungrouped data. But in grade 10, you are now introduced to group data. Group data means between 10 and 20, there are 20 repeats. So maybe there's a 10 and an 11 and a 12 and a 13 and another 13. But altogether, between 10 and 20, there are 20 numbers. Now, when you see your frequency table, what you must notice is under the inequality, they would have an underlined inequality on the left-hand side. Now, when we're doing the frequency and we want to calculate the mean, median, and mode, the mode is quite easy. You look at the highest number. So in this case, the highest number lies there. So the mode of this graph is going to be between 30 and 40. Then the median. How many do we have? Median again is also much easier, because if we look, we need to find the total. So what is the total? How many learners do we have? Right? We have 20 plus 65 plus 80 plus 35. All in all, we have 200. Now the mode is the highest amount. The median is the middle. Now if I have 200 and I divide it by 2, then I know it's going to be 100, and since it's an even number, it will be the 100 and the 101. Now where is 100 and 101 lying? Look, 20 plus 65 is going to give me 105, which tells me clearly that 100 and 101 is going to lie in this column, which means that my median is going to be between 20 and 30. Now how do we work out the mean? The mean means the average, and this is where you have to get used to your calculator. Number one, you need to check that your calculator is set up on stats, but it must be frequency on. You're going to press shift and mode, then you're going to go down, you're going to press 3, and you're going to press number 1, which means frequency on. Then you press mode again, and you're pressing number 2 for stats. You then press number 1 for variance, and you'll see 2 columns, X and frequency. Under X, you need the midpoints. So how do we calculate the midpoints? We know this is our frequency, but we can't put this in as X in our calculator. So we need to calculate the midpoint. Now the midpoint works a lot like your midpoint in analytical. We are going to take 20 plus 10 and we're going to divide it by 2. 20 plus 10 divided by 2, which is 30 divided by 2, giving us 15. Then we're going to say 30 plus 20 divided by 2, which is going to give us 25. Then 40 plus 30, which is equal to 35. So 40 plus 30 is 70 divided by 2. And then we got 50 plus 40 divided by 2, which is going to give us 45. So the values we are going to press in our calculator. Under X, we are going to put all these values. And under frequency, we're going to put these values. So now your calculator is already ready. You got X and you got frequency. Now when you press 15 and equal to, you will see your calculator goes down and your frequency immediately goes to 1. Leave that and continue going down. Then you press 25 equal to, 35 equal to, 45 equal to. Now go back up, but go and press on your right, so you by frequency. Now by 15, in line with 15, you're going to press 20. Then you're going to press equal to, you're going to press 65, equal to 80, equal to 35. And once you've done all that, you're going to press AC. Then you're going to press shift 1. Then you're going to go to number 4, which says variance. And then what is it that you want? You want the average. Remember, the average is an X with a line on top. As soon as you press that, in my calculator it's 2 and it's equal to 31,5. So the average is 31,5. Now remember, this test specifically said that this test is out of 50. So when they're giving you the average, they are giving you the average out of 50. So the average is 31,5 out of 50. If they ask for a percentage, then you have to times it by 100 over 1. They don't always ask for the percentage, but if they do ask for a percentage, then you say times 100 over 1, which will give me 63%. So the average is 63%, but the correct answer would be 31,5. Now let's go to the next thing. Alright, let us take the following data. Now what we're trying to do is, we are going to do the 5-number summary. Now the 5-number summary, it means number 1, we want the lowest value. Number 2, we want the Q1, which is the lower quartile. Q2, which is the median. Q3, which is the upper quartile. And number 5, which is the highest number. Now, because it is in this order, you need to make sure that your data is in order. We've already taken the data and we had already put it in order. If you look at this level, we had put the data in order. Okay, so the first thing we know is from our information, we need the median. The median for the information that we had previously worked out was 121,5. So we know that for the median, we got 121,5. Now what is the lowest? That is the reason you have to put it in order. The lowest is 50. And the highest is 210. Now, how do we work out Q1 and Q3? When we look, you have to remember if it's even or odd. When the data is even and we know that it's 14. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But it means we must take 7 and 8. That's how we got Q2. We took 7 and 8, we added the 2, 120 plus 123, and we divided by 2, which gave us 121,5. Now, 121,5 is not part of the data. So if the information is not part of the data, we don't eliminate any information. So in order to work out Q1, we're going to look at all the information that is the left of the median. So you see where we drew the line? I'm going to take all the information on the left. Now how many terms do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I'm looking for the median of the 7. 7 divided by 2 is 3.5, which means rounded off I'm looking at the fourth number, 1, 2, 3, 4. So Q1 is equal to 77. Now how do I look for the upper quartile? I'm going to take all the information on the right hand side. It is also 7. I'm going to take the fourth one, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is 148. So what is my 5-number summary? My 5-number summary is going to be the values that we had just calculated. So it would be 50, it would be 77, 121,5, 148 and 210. Now after they ask you to calculate the 5-number summary, they will then tell you to draw the box and whiskers. We have our 5-number summary. Remember, the number line is usually given to you. However, if the number line is not given to you, you have to make sure that you use a scale. You can't randomly put a dot here and then say, okay, I'm marking this 50 and I'm marking this 77 and I decided I'm marking this 121 and then I'm marking this 148 and then I'm deciding to mark this 210. You cannot do that. You have to work on a scale. Now your scale doesn't need to be 0 and it doesn't need to be 1, 2, 3. It can be in 10s, it can even be in 20s, but you have to have a scale. Now how do we draw the box and whiskers? The first point is on 50. So on 50 we're going to put a dot. Then we have 77. Now 77 is going to lie between 70 and 80. So I would say around there, and you put a line. Then we've got 121,5, so we're looking around there. 148, which is just before 150, and then we've got 210. Now we join the box and we've got our whiskers. Now when we look at the information, we must always comment on the information. You can clearly see that this is a very long tail. When the tails are long, then we say that we have outliners. Right, so in this specific case, we have an outliner. What we do is we comment. We say, listen, there is an outliner and it increased our average because it was a high outliner. The next thing we need to do is the data skewed to the left or skewed to the right? Now usually we would look at the box. This box implies that it is skewed to the left because the bigger box is on the left hand side. So you write there that it looks like the data is skewed to the left, and that means it's negatively skewed. But you cannot just assume that, because in order for data to be skewed to the left or skewed to the right, we have to worry about the mean. Now, when the mean is greater than the median, then it is skewed to the right. And when the mean is less than the median, then it is skewed to the left. So, even though the drawing is telling us certain information, you need to go and see, okay, what was the average of this drawing? We had calculated the average of this drawing, and the average was 122,43. 122,43. Now remember, this was 121,5. And now they are telling us that, listen, the average is 122,43. So what happened now? Even though the drawing is saying one thing, you need to still say, right, the drawing is saying that it is skewed to the left, but the mean is greater than the median. Therefore, this implies that the data is actually skewed to the right. However, what else did we notice? The outliner, what did the outliner do? The outliner increased the mean. Remember, it was a high outliner, and what it did was it increased the mean. Therefore, the data shifted. So the data was, what are you saying? You are saying, listen, the data is actually skewed to the left. But now, because of our outliner, what it did was it shifted our data to the right. So you must learn how to comment on the data. They don't expect you to say a lot of sentences. They like giving you a mark for the outliner. They like giving you a mark for saying it's skewed to the left or the right. They like giving you a mark to saying, listen, did he realize that the mean or the median is this? So they like to say that, and then they like the alternates. But if you give 2 or 3, it's usually correct. Thank you for watching.